Happy Thursday, Siegel Safari. It's Mrs. Siegel. As promised, I told you I would read to you the new book today, which is the Big Blueberry Barf-off. It is from the Rotten School series, which is written by R.L. Stine. He is our author, so he wrote the words. R.L. Stine might be a name that you are familiar with because he is also the author of the Goosebumps books. So I hope you enjoy these as much as I do, and there's quite a few of these, so this could keep us entertained for a little bit. So here we go. Rotten School, The Big Blueberry Barf-off by R.L. Stine. Once again, you can see how this book is beat up because I love it. Table of contents. So there are 18 chapters, and as you can see, you have the chapter title. We also have the page number that the chapter starts on. This is a map of Rotten School. You can see you're going to find out that he attends a boarding school. A boarding school is different than the kind of school you would attend. A boarding school is where kids are sent to go to school and they live there, sort of like a college, but this is for younger ages. So this is his campus that he lives on. And Bernie, you're going to find out, lives up here in Rotten House, and his arch enemy, nemesis, whatever you want to call, lives down here. This is Sherman Oaks' house, a place where he lives. Nice house. Here we go. Morning announcements. Good morning, everyone. This is Headmaster Upchuck. I hope all of our Rotten students are ready to start the day. I will be giving important announcements over the loudspeaker every morning. I hope we can get this fixed so it doesn't squeal and whistle. Ow! That really hurt my ears. Doesn't anybody know how to stop that? I guess not. Ow! Anyway, here are today's important morning announcements. A special reminder from Coach Buns to our third grade swim team. Please remember that the no peeing in the pool rule is still being enforced. Congratulations to the Volunteer Club of Nice House. They have collected over 50 pounds of old newspaper. They are asking if anyone has any idea what to do with it. Mr. Farhart has asked me to make this special announcement to students in his class for beginning rappers. Yo, what up, dog? We be breaking it down. Bring the bling. Bust a move, yo. The stomach pump is missing again from Nurse Hanley's office. Please return it and no questions will be asked. I want to congratulate fifth grader Eric Spindlebag. Eric won the I Care Deeply About My School essay contest. His winning essay was titled Whatever. Members of the After School Dental Hygiene Club announced the third grader Billy Sligg will be showing off his new retainer at dinner tonight. A reminder that tonight is Island Night in the dining hall. Chef Bologna will be serving a special menu with a tropical theme. I'm sure you will all enjoy the chef's coconut-crusted fist of buffalo plankton surprise. Trout lips in sponge sauce and lizard pudding. Sounds good. Enjoy. All right, chapter 1. You will notice that there's not a ton of pictures in this, so hang tight with me, okay? Breakfast in bed. Tweet, tweet, tweet. My bird alarm clock woke me up gently. I opened my big brown eyes and smiled. Catch those dimples in my cheeks. I always wake up with a smile. Hey, I'm Bernie Bridges. Why shouldn't I smile? I had no idea today was the day it would all start. No idea what I'd find when I stepped outside. No idea that today would lead to the biggest pie battle in the history of school, maybe the world. How could I know? I was still half asleep. I raised my head. I could hear the other guys in my dorm rushing out to the dining hall to get breakfast. Hey, am I going to hurry? No way. I settled back on my feather pillow and smiled some more. I knew my faithful friend Belzer would bring my breakfast on a tray. Belzer brings me breakfast in bed every morning. Good kid, Belzer. I sat up and stretched. Bernie, you've got it made, I told myself. I talk to myself a lot. I mean, who else understands pure genius? I put on my glasses. Sunlight poured through my window. The curtains fluttered in a cool breeze. I gazed at my favorite poster on the wall, the big poster of me. You probably go home every day after school, poor sucker. My parents travel all the time, so they sent me to the Rotten School, my home away from home. It's a boarding school. See? That means I get to live in a dorm with my friends. No parents. How cool is that? Actually, we live in an old house called Rotten House. A whole bunch of my 4th and 5th grade friends live on my floor. We claim the 3rd floor because it's good for dropping water balloons out the window. Mrs. Heine doesn't know about that, but she knows just about everything else that goes on here. Mrs. Heine is our dorm mother. She's really nice, but she has a job to do. That means she always is snooping around, sniffing in corners, keeping an eye on us. Mrs. Heine is also our 4th grade core teacher. She has her own apartment in the attic. Yo, dude, I called out to Belzer as he carried in my breakfast tray. Morning, Big B, he said. He's a chubby guy with red hair that falls down over his eyes, and he has freckles everywhere. He set my breakfast tray down and pulled off the cover. Good work, I said, slapping him on the back. Hey, thanks, Bernie, he smiled, that lopsided smile of his. Anyone can see his braces haven't helped at all. Maybe I'll adjust them for him later. I'm a wizard with a pair of pliers. You're looking sharp today, Belzer, I said. Belzer was wearing his Rotten School blazer and a tie, but under the tie he wore a white t-shirt with bright red letters that said, Ask me about my allergies. I once made the mistake of asking Belzer about his allergies. He said, I don't have any. I just like the shirt. I started to eat my breakfast. I strained the pulp from your orange juice, Belzer said. Good work, dude. And I got you extra blueberries for your pancakes. Excellent, Belzer. The soft blueberries, right? Not the chewy ones. Yeah, I tested each one, Belzer said, and your toast is just the way you like it. I picked up a slice of toast and checked it out. Light on one side, dark on the other. Perfect, Belzer. Good work, fella. Here's a good picture. So you can see Belzer coming in, and this is Bernie Bridges with his poster of himself. And Bernie has this whole room, you're going to find out, to himself. So I'm kind of giving you a little hint, little spoiler alert, I guess. But he lives in this room, this dorm room, all by himself, and his friends are all shoved across the hall. But this is Belzer. So Belzer brings him breakfast every morning. And there's his shirt, Ask me about my allergies. What did you think about that when he said, I tested each of the blueberries? How do you test a blueberry before you give it to somebody, knowing that they're the chewy ones? That kind of gross. Anyway, thank you, Big B. He flashed his crooked smile. I started to dig into the pancakes. I looked up. 2 guys stood in the doorway. They were eyeing my breakfast hungrily. Well, well, look who's here, I said. Chapter 2, Femen and Crunch. These are some of my favorite characters, too. My 2 best buddies, Femen and Crunch, came walking in. Femen and Crunch are tall and lean and goofy looking. They grin a lot and punch each other a lot and can never stand still. Femen has long, stringy hair that hangs down like a mop. Crunch's hair is short and flat. That's because his head is flat. What's up, Big B? Crunch asked. Femen reached for a slice of toast. I had to slap his hand away. Here they are. So this is Crunch, and this was Femen. Belzer, Femen, and Crunch are crammed into the tiny room across from me. They insisted that I have my own room. They know I need a lot of space for planning and scheming. Okay, guys, give me the report, I said. How are the Bernie Bridges t-shirts selling? Crunch shook his head. You're not selling, Bernie. They're not selling, Bernie. How many have you sold, I asked. 20, 30? None, Femen replied. N-U-N-N. None. I think you spell none with a Y, Crunch said. Never mind. The spelling lesson, I said. Why aren't kids buying Bernie Bridges t-shirts? Because they're itchy, Crunch said. Kids don't want to pay $5 for a t-shirt that makes them scratch all day. But it's got my picture on it, I said. Crunch shook his head again. Bernie, we told you not to make the t-shirts out of rope. No one wants to wear a rope t-shirt. But rope is cheaper than cotton, I said. I have to make a profit, don't I? Femen shrugged. We couldn't even sell them to the 3rd graders, Big B. I think you should give up. Give up? I cried. I jumped to my feet. Give up? How dare you use those words with me? Do I ever give up for you? They lowered their heads. No, Bernie, they both answered. Femen made another grab for the toast. I jabbed him with my fork. I never give up, I said. I do everything for you guys. I do the impossible for you guys, don't I? Yes, you do, Big B, Belzer said. He turned to Femen and Crunch, who convinced that cook that a Milky Way bar is a vegetable. Bernie did, they both answered. And who convinced Headmaster Upchuck to make Game Boys a required school supply? Belzer asked. Bernie did. Who convinced Mrs. Heine to give extra credit for putting your name at the top of your test? Belzer asked. Bernie did, Femen and Crunch replied. Don't forget wedgies, I whispered to Belzer. Oh, right, Belzer said. Who got Coach Buns to make giving wedgies a varsity sport? Bernie did, they answered. Bernie did. You're the best, Big B, Belzer cried. We all cheered and slapped high fives and did the secret Rotten House handshake. So, get out there and sell those rope t-shirts, I said. Sell, sell, sell. Femen and Crunch shouted, pumping their fists in the air, and they hurried out the door. So here, this is Coach Buns, so the PE teacher. Here's Bernie, and then you have Femen and Crunch. Oh, I am today going to read another chapter just because I love this book so much. All right, chapter 3, A Crowd Gathers. A few minutes later, I put on my school uniform and headed downstairs. I didn't want to be late for my first class with Mrs. Heine. I stopped in the front hall. From the back of the house, I could hear screams and a sharp stinging sound. Slap, slap, slap. Just some guys having fun in the shower room, slapping one another silly with wet towels. The Rotten School is a very old school, and we have a lot of wonderful old traditions here. Wet towel smacking is one of our favorites. I stepped back and listened. Smack! Ow! Good one, Zuckerman. Smack! Ow! Good one, Klooper. Hey, I love the sound of snapping towels. Know why? Because I rent out the towels. Guys don't mind paying 50 cents a towel when they know they're getting a good smack for their money. I stepped out the front door and down the steps. Then I started to jog across the great lawn to class. It was a sunny September day. The grass sparkled. The sky was cloudless and blue. My backpack bounced on my back. It was empty. Belzer was carrying all my books for me. Good kid, Belzer. I stopped when I saw the crowd of kids on the grass. They were gathered around the statue of I.B. Rotten. What were they doing there? I.B. Rotten was the guy who started this school 100 years ago. Guess who he named it after? Old I.B. was my kind of guy, a zillionaire. He made his money by owning grocery stores all over the U.S. called Rotten Food Shops. The statue of I.B. Rotten stands on a pedestal in the center of the great lawn. He has a very long nose that looks like an animal's snout. He has tiny round eyes and short furry hair. He looks a lot like an anteater wearing a suit. But the Rotten School student guidebook says on page 3 that he was human. Last spring, someone who I won't name, Femen, snuck out one night and painted the long nose on the statue bright red. Femen is really into painting things red. It's kind of his hobby. Anyway, they tried for months, but no one could get the paint off the statue, so now it looks like I.B. Rotten always has a very bad cold. Why were all the kids huddled around the statue this morning? I saw Femen and Crunch in the crowd. I hurried over to them. What's up? What's all the excitement? And that's where I'm going to leave you. What do you think they're all huddling around? Oh, don't you know it? I know. But we'll find out tomorrow. Tomorrow's chapter is called My Arch Enemy. I hope you enjoyed this one. It gets lots better here, so you're going to enjoy it. Have a good night, and I will be reading to you tomorrow. Bye, guys.